I will call this evening's meeting to order. It is 7:05 on Monday, May 9th, and this is the Town of Norton Finance Committee. I would like to begin our meeting by welcoming our newest member, Mr. Jeffrey Moynihan, to the call and to our fabulous Monday night event here. And we will run through a quick roll call. Bill.
Here.
Zach. Kevin.
Here.
Joe Parker. Joe Parker. Steve is running late, he told me. Yelena.
I'm here.
Bonnie.
Here.
Paula.
Here.
Anyone that I missed?
You technically didn't call Jeff's name to ask him if he's here.
Thank you,
Well,
but I'm here.
Thank you. With all the comings and goings, I have a list of all the people whose names I need to call, and I feel like I counted how many there are. It seems like someone else might be missing, but I think we're good for now. Everyone who is here had their name called. Mike, away. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Michael Toole, you have a quorum. Do you need to, start a meeting, or are you guys just observing?
I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. Do we have quorum? I see hold on a minute, who else do I see here? I apologize.
I see Christine and Steve. And you.
I can
We
leave
did
and
not
just walk.
post the meet. We did not post the meeting. This is not, we won't talk.
Okay.
We didn't set an agenda for this, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, just making sure.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, Mike, it's all yours.
All right, I'll share my screen, and the first item on the agenda is Article 4 and 5, which are the water and sewer department budgets. And I know they were presented to you previously. And if I can find them, I'll present them. Let's see.
While you're doing that, I would like to let the record show that Mr. Joe Parker is joining us.
You just docked your pay, Joe Parker.
Am I sharing yet? Not yet. All right.
No.
Give me a second.
I'll tell you what, Bonnie, I'll be so generous. I will return half my pay. How does that sound?
You guys are getting paid to be here?
The town graciously accepts that. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
So previously you were presented with the water and sewer budget, and nothing has changed except the indirects would have changed since your last meeting. So the total charges and expenditures, let me go back. Personal services, $1,313,726.89. And then the intertransfers, the interfund operating transfers, $588,352. And charges and expenditures, $1,292,500. And debt and interest, $1,620,003. So are there any questions?
Mike, are these the numbers you are recommending?
Yes.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Frank. Welcome.
Just want to update you guys real quick. These numbers have changed since the last time you've
Okay.
seen them. I'm not sure if you can see this in color or not. The
Yes,
highlighted
we can.
numbers in yellow, we have actually reduced. We went back and looked through and cut a little bit of fat out of some of these areas. We felt comfortable doing so after we got the interfund operating numbers. This budget is going to be extremely difficult to hold to just because of there are so many changes. Obviously, with the industry, everything is driven by diesel fuel. All the chemicals we get, all the trucks that supply them, no different than what we see at home with getting groceries at the store. Everything's impacted by diesel fuel. We've seen changes in some of our chemical costs, even if we use the surge bid, where they're adding on fuel surcharges. Nobody anticipated, diesel to be where it is now at over $6 a gallon, and continuously rising. When these budgets were first looked at, we were in the $3 per gallon range for diesel, which is kind of what we were anticipating. So we very cautiously pulled a little bit out of each of the yellow highlighted areas. Any of the blue are the ones that we had increased from the previous year, which I believe you guys had already seen. Many of these are the obvious ones, the propane, the natural gas. We didn't touch the electricity. We think that number, even though it looks very high, we think it's going to be fairly accurate. All of this was based, and as was last year's budget, was based on having wells 5 and 6 installed and running. They are not completely installed and running yet. We have well 5A on a temporary pump and connection, which we had to jump through hoops to get approved. If we did not, we would be in a serious situation right now as far as supplying the town with water. Supply and demand come into it. Again, diesel fuel, shipping costs, pumps and motors. We are slowly seeing parts start to trickle in for the well 5 and 6 permanent installation. We would like to say that we're hoping to see one of those to be permanently installed by the end of this year, but honestly, I wouldn't hold my breath. So these numbers do appear high, but they're based on the assumption that we're going to have one or both of those new wells producing twice as much as what they do now, fully operational going to the plant. So we have to plan ahead, just as we did last year. Unfortunately, it didn't happen last year, but we're in a much better position now than we were back then. Chemical costs, electricity, propane, all of those fall right in line based on how much water we produce. So if you look back, 2020 was actually a pretty good year for us. We actually had a decent amount of water available that we were able to pump based on the infrastructure at the time. So we took that number, which I believe was 133,000 and change, looked at those numbers and said, if we double that, obviously 266 is ridiculous to go 250, coming with a range that we think we can hit on the chemicals. And then obviously the electricity costs, if we have to get creative. I know we have talked with the people who did the study for the town, looking at options to save money. We don't have the ability to put on the big solar panels and stuff like the schools do, based on the footprint of the building and based on the roof structure. So there was some talk even about possibly running off of the large generators during the peak demand if the propane costs were going to be cheaper than the electrical costs. So we have a few options available to us. We'll deal with those as needed and move forward.
Thanks, Frank. That's very informative. Does anyone have questions for Frank?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Bill.
Frank, just one question, since it's on the top of everybody's mind and you pointed to it several times. Your fuel gas diesel doesn't appear to have changed. You're comfortable at the 35?
Yeah, when I'm mentioning the diesel fuel cost, we see that as more of an impact with our chemicals being supplied to us, whether it be our chlorine bleach, our potassium permanganate, anything that has to be delivered by either rail or by truck before it gets to us. The general numbers that we have for our operational costs, we haven't really increased those much. We don't have that many diesel powered vehicles, different from some of the other departments in town. Our large service truck, obviously our backhoe, are diesel powered, but they are fairly efficient compared to the gas models that we drive daily. So now that's definitely something we didn't really look at because we felt pretty comfortable where we were. I will gladly add numbers to it if FinCom and Mr. Units believe we should do so.
I'll leave that to the experts. Thanks for the answer, though.
You're very welcome, sir.
Anyone else with questions for Frank? From anybody? Yeah, Frank, we appreciate it. I can tell you, I know the cost of chlorine's been super volatile during the pandemic, so I don't envy you trying to budget on that.
Unfortunately, everything is.
No. I know I keep the little tub of chlorine for my hot tub in my Amazon cart. I logged in one day. It says the price has decreased $29. Like, I think I'll be ordering that today.
Now's the time. I wish we had options like that we could have multitudes of bulk storage on hand. Unfortunately, it doesn't remain stable for long once it's been produced. So the options are limited there, as well as the capacity where you have to have double containment for the amount of bleach that we already hold. So there's definitely safety concerns, even if you could get it at a bargain.
Do you want to vote to recommend the water enterprise budget as presented?
Article 4?
Article 4, correct.
All right. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 4, the water enterprise budget.
Do we have to break it down by pieces?
Like I'm cooking in the middle of cooking dinner.
Oh, Michael, you're not on mute anymore. What? I remuted Michael.
Madam Chair,
Do we need
do we need
go
to
ahead,
do
Bill.
it? Do we need to do it by the 4 subsections? And if so, could you put that back on the screen?
Or do we just recommend it as written?
Thought we used to break them up, but
I don't recall.
You muted the wrong Michael.
Oh, sorry. I could swear I muted Michael Toole.
Let me put the article up.
Okay.
You're so patient.
I'm just sitting here growing more gray hairs, Mike. They're coming in every day. All right. So it would appear we do need to break it out.
can that be popped back on the screen and I'll recommend?
Well, Mike, are these the correct numbers in the 2023 department request?
That's what I'm double checking to make sure. And
I was just doing that comparison. They look to be.
they are.
So, the Chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 4 as written in the warrant with the breakdown by line item.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Bonnie.
I move that we recommend Article 4 as printed in the warrant, broken down by category. Do you want me to read the total?
Yes, please.
The total is $4,784,583.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Are there any additional questions about the water enterprise budget? Hearing none, we will go to the vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Jeff.
Yes.
I am a yes, so that is unanimous.
And how many do you have?
That's a good question.
8.
1, 2.
Currently, we have 8, right? No, 9. Zach's not here.
There are 8 of us here. Yeah, there's 8 of us here.
Okay.
8.
Zach and Steve are not here. Sorry.
And next is the water enterprise budget. Sewer enterprise budget, I'm sorry. And
All right.
the recommendation is personnel services, $432.05. And under charges and expenditures, $1,307,226. And the largest expense there obviously is the $933,676 to the MFN. And then debt service, $425,013.90.
All right. Does anyone have any questions on the sewer enterprise budget?
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Frank.
Just a little bit of a description here. One of the things that you guys may notice different from before, under the treatment plant costs, I actually added a separate line item for the costs that we incur to move waste to Taunton. Typically in the past, that was rolled into the one large lump sum number. So I wanted to have a separation just so we can track the increases that we may see over time on the Taunton portion of it. So that's why there was a second line item that was created there. And it doesn't show previous information in any of the other columns. Again, with the highlighted portions, you'll see there were some incremental increases. Obviously, again, propane, natural gas. We feel pretty good with the number we have for electricity. Again, time will tell with that. And we did increase the vehicle maintenance budget. Unfortunately, a short while ago, we had one of our specialty vehicles. It's actually a crane truck, and the motor actually let go. Unfortunately, there was no warning. It wasn't a high mileage vehicle. With the shortage of vehicles that there are now, to wait for a specialty vehicle like that was going to be 2 or 3 years out. So we decided, after doing a quick inspection on the vehicle, that it was worth putting a decent amount of money into it. We actually spent $10,000 to replace the engine in that truck. So that's where you see a huge expense. We actually overrode that line item for the vehicle maintenance. So there are, unfortunately, aging vehicles in both fleets. That was also another line item that we looked at cautiously. On the water side, we had difficulties with a few vehicles passing inspection last year. And it gets to a point where you don't want to just foolishly dump money into these vehicles. But where we are right now, as I can only imagine that the other departments are the same way, trying to keep them together for another year or two until they open up the bid pricing again, or until we have options for purchasing vehicles off a lot that may suit our needs, even if they're not specifically designed for what we would like. Have all the amenities. We can add on a few different things in-house. So we do have some options, but those are a few of the items that you see that have increased there.
Thanks for that, Frank. Question, is the new development with the hotel up by Great Woods, the Xfinity Center, is that tied into the sewer system?
It is actually tied in. That comes back through a gravity main and actually goes to the Great Woods station, which is the sewer pumping station on the corner there. That actually pumps the waste down to Holly Road, then down to Cobb Street and down the line.
So when a big development like that goes in, I'm assuming like there are all kinds of fees for them to tie in like a hotel.
If the building is in Norton, yes. Where that is in Mansfield, they actually deduct the flow. So we have line meters that are installed in a few of the manholes in town that can determine what flow comes from Norton and what other flow comes from the Mansfield portion of basically that corner. And we deduct that from our flow numbers when we calculate the usage to the MFN.
Okay.
So they use our pipes, they use our pumping station, but we don't charge them for that portion of it because it's their waste.
Interesting. Okay. Does anyone else have questions for Frank on the sewer enterprise budget?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Kevin.
So I'm just the last thing about the hotel. So I'm confused. We're paying for the waste generated by a Mansfield hotel?
No, sir. It goes through our system. So we do pay obviously some electricity to pump it along with the other waste that we have as part of the municipal agreement with the plumbing and the way it works in town. They needed a way to facilitate discharging waste from that corner of town. It was an agreement that was made, I'm thinking probably back in the late 80s when the Great Woods pumping station was built, and it picked up any Mansfield residents along the way. Their waste that was generated is taken out of the money that we pay to them based on the per gallon charges. So it is a unique situation. We run into that in a couple other areas of town. If we supply Mansfield residents with utilities, where they don't have it as well.
But everything's deducted out of that, whatever you want to call it, a true up between the MFN, it sounds like?
That is correct, sir.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions? All right. Hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 5 in the amount of $2,299,542.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie?
I move that we recommend Article 5, the sewer enterprise budget, in the total amount of $2,299,542.
I'll second that.
Second?
All right, I have
Sorry,
a
Bill,
motion
I
and a
cut you
second.
off.
Are there any other questions on Article 5 before we vote? All right, hearing none, let's do this. Paul Paula, sorry.
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Bill,
Yep.
Jeff.
Yes.
I too am a yes, so that is unanimous.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you
Yes,
very much.
thank you, Frank.
And if we could go to Article 10. This article is proposed and has been recommended by the Select Board. And this article would authorize the Select Board to petition the legislature to add 2 additional all alcoholic beverages to be consumed off premises. 1 license would be on East Main Street between 495 and the town of Easton. And another license would be issued on Old Colony Road between North and South Worcester Street and the Attleboro City line. And the licenses are not to be transferred to any other section of town, and nor shall the licensing authority authorize the transfer of a license within 1 year after the date of issuance. And it authorized the Select Board to establish a liquor license review committee and a competitive procedure for allocating the liquor licenses that are available.
All right. So this looks somewhat similar to what we saw during last fall's town meeting. Is that correct?
Correct.
Except this is 2 licenses, not 1.
Right.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Joe.
the one for the fall, if I'm not mistaken, that was also 2 licenses. One was to be between the Attleboro line and North and South Worcester on Old Colony, but at that time it was a citizen's petition, maybe?
Yes, it
For a
was.
specific location at Blue Star. So I'm happy to see that this is more general.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Toole.
thank you. I just wanted to let the Finance Committee know that this also was a recommendation from the Economic Development Commission to the Select Board that they voted on to move it forward.
That's excellent. Good to know. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Joe.
Michael Toole, can you explain a little bit about the License Review Committee, the thinking about that and the competitive procedure? That seems to be new from last year, so I don't know if you had any comments on that.
Yeah, absolutely. The EDC has worked in actually defining the process on anytime a license comes available in this in particular situation, from when the notification goes out and then the selection process, and a built-in criterias that will help assist the Select Board in their vote on approving liquor licenses. I know this was, it was obviously chaired by Renee, the EDC is chaired by Renee, and it was passed through the EDC and handed off to the Select Board.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Bonnie.
I guess this would be a question to you, Michael. Speaking as a member of the EDC, perhaps, I'm wondering if the court needs to approve the locations, or is that just something the town needs to approve, or is the court approving both the existence of 2 more licenses as well as their locations?
Yeah, so what will happen is it will be a request to the legislature through the ABCC, where usually the requirement for the state approval is very specific in nature. What we're going to be applying to the legislature for isn't 2 economic zone improvements, and that is defined in this article. So typically when we see an additional license, it's usually site specific. These are site specific, but within two zones of the town. Did that answer your question?
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Bill.
I'm gonna get the reputation because I always ask this question. And it's more just for general knowledge for the public. And it's not a statement for or against what I'm about to say. Is it not correct, or is it correct, if we increase liquor licenses, we also increase or marijuana established availability licenses? They are tied. There's a mathematical formula. So is that not the case if this gets approved?
You are correct. If 2 licenses were issued or approved, it would mean that we'd have 1 more available marijuana license.
Retail license, Mike.
And that's automatic. And then, yes, the establishment will then have to go through all the hurdles and whatnot that are out there, but the availability is automatic.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. And just to confirm, that mathematical formula is that for every 3 liquor licenses, we're eligible for 1 retail marijuana establishment license. Is that correct?
I'm not positive on that. I don't know if Michael, I forget what the formula is. I do know 2 more licenses would mean 1 more marijuana.
I was told there would be no math. Just obviously, I'm joking.
It's the finance committee, Michael.
I'm teasing. No, I know it does activate 1 additional license. I thought it was higher than that, Madam Chair, but I don't know the exact number.
Okay.
But I can bring that information back to you.
That's fine. I can also text Renee while I'm sitting here and we're talking about it, and she can text me back. All right. Are there any other questions about Article 10?
I do have one. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Joe.
I see that in the heading it says maybe further revised. It sounds like the select board has approved this as written, and our motion would be to recommend it as written. What would happen if further revisions take place?
If there were any other revisions, we would come back to you before town meeting.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 10.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Bill.
this is hard. All right, Bill.
Well, unless it's easier for the minute taker to just
It
keep
probably is
Bonnie
easier
as-
for Bonnie to do all of the motions.
Okay,
Oh,
my bad.
driving away. Okay. Madam Chair, I move that we recommend Article 10 as written in the warrant as it currently stands, allowing 2 additional liquor licenses to go before the general court.
I have a second.
Go ahead, Bill.
Second. Thanks, Joe.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions about Article 10? All right, hearing none, we will vote. Before we vote, I would like the record to show that Mr. Zach Phyllis has joined our party this evening, and I will be asking him to vote on this article, which he has just seen for 30 seconds. All right, Paula.
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Elena.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Zach. Oh, did we lose Zach?
Zach, we can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I am a no on this article.
Okay, that's a no from Zach. Bill?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And I too am a yes. So that is 8 affirmative, 1 no. All right, motion passes.
Mike, you're on mute.
Can I say Amy did it again?
I didn't get to say it this time. I feel like I missed out.
Article 1 is to pay unpaid bills from a prior fiscal year. And we have, the planning board has bills from the Sun Chronicle, $1,720.32. And the zoning board also advertising in the Sun Chronicle, $627.60. So a total of $2,347.92 coming from free cash.
All right. Mike, can you
Mike, does
say
that,
the number one more time?
I think I got it.
Let me
Okay.
put it up.
2,347.92.
yeah, those numbers differed from
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you're showing.
Right. They've changed. The planning board had another one, so
Yes. So I guess the Sun Chronicle is really, really slow in their invoicing. You'd think they'd need their money.
and I know.
All right. Does anyone have questions on these unpaid bills? Just for all our new members understanding, any bills that go unpaid that are not accrued in the fiscal year have to be voted on at town meeting. A quirky part of the town meeting form of government.
Mike, do they
And
need?
apparently,
Oh, sorry,
go
Madam
ahead,
Chair.
Bonnie.
Mike, do they need to be stated separately, or can the total be stated?
They should be stated separately using the account numbers.
What was the planning board one? I got
Planning board, account number 001-175-570, $1,720.32.
thanks.
And the zoning board, 001-177-570, in the amount of $627.60.
Got it.
So I'm assuming this will be updated in the warrant. Those
Yes.
numbers are right. Okay. All right. Any other questions on these unpaid bills? Hearing none, The chair will entertain a motion to recommend Article 1 of the special town meeting.
Mike, can you go back up to, so I can see the department
Oh, sure.
number?
Yep.
Madam Chair?
Bonnie.
Let me put it back up, Bonnie.
Thanks. I move we recommend Article 1, the special town meeting warrant for first account number 001-175-570 planning in the amount of $1,720.32, as well as 001-177-570 zoning in the amount of $627.60 for a total of $2,347.92 to come from free cash.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further conversation or questions? Hearing none, we can vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I too am a yes, and that is unanimous.
All right, thank you. Next is separation expense. And this is Article 2. And the recommendation is $262,094. And $245,771 is for the fire department, and $16,323 for the library. And this also would come from free cash.
Anyone have questions on separation expenses? Mike, just out of curiosity, how many employees is that for the fire department?
That's 5. It's payment 3 of 4 for the former chief. It's the deputy chief that'll be retiring, and 3 firefighters.
Simmons is going to be busy hiring new people.
He is trying.
That is a lot of openings to backfill. All right. Any other questions on these separation expenses?
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Mike, just, you mentioned year 3 of 4 for the prior chief. Can you elaborate a little more on the multi-year separation expense? Is that just for chief and deputy chiefs, I'm guessing, and how the structure of that is?
The chief, when he retired, he asked to have it spread out over 4 years rather than all at once. And so they do have that option.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right. Chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 2. And Bonnie, you're going to have to read the account numbers.
Got it. Madam Chair?
Yes, Bonnie.
I move that we recommend Article 2 of the special town meeting, separation expenses for account 001-220-510 fire department in the amount of $245,771, as well as the account 001-610-570, the library, in the amount of $16,323 for a total of $262,094.
And the funds are coming from
Oh,
free
sorry,
cash.
and the funds are coming from free cash. You're right.
That's making sure we get all the important
Second.
pieces in there. Thank you, Bill. I have a motion and a second. Are there any additional questions on Article 2? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes, so that is unanimous.
Okay, thank you. Also on the special is an article for property on Ridge Road. I'll just show you a little of the property. This property was taken for tax purposes. It's a 5,000 square foot parcel on Ridge Road. And right now there's a home on it that needs to be torn down. I'll get to the picture on that. So this is the location of the property on Ridge Road. And the house right now has started to cave in. And so this house needs to be torn down. And so this article on the special would be to give the selectmen the authority to dispose of this property. And right now we're looking to sell the property to Habitat for Humanity for $1. And they've got a family that is looking forward to having a home built for them there. And they will also pay for tearing down the house.
Oh, that's good. So is, just to clarify, the select board will take this piece of land because it's back to taxes, or?
Yeah, it's already been taken by the town. This would
Okay.
just authorize the select board to dispose of it. And for Habitat for Humanity to build a house on it. And that house would also go towards our count when it comes to 40B. It would have a restriction on it that it's an affordable home.
Great.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Joe.
Mike, when it comes to a single family home like that, what criteria does it fall under for 40B to be affordable?
I would have to get that for you. I'm not positive. I would get that from Habitat, but they definitely will put a restriction on the deed that it does remain affordable. And I'll get the information for you on that.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other questions
Madam
on
Chair?
Article 8? Go ahead, Bill.
Mike, I'm assuming since we already own it and, you know, we perhaps owned it for a while, that any back taxes are kind of a lost cause at this point?
Yes, it is definitely. If we were going to auction it off, for more money, we would get the taxes then.
Okay, thank you.
But if we were going to do that, would we have to pay to tear the house down?
Yes. And we've already been receiving pressure to tear it down. That's why we asked Habitat if they can move quickly. And we had a good conversation with them last week where they committed to tearing the house down by June 30th.
Oh, wow.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Mike, I assume, I mean, it's obvious if it look at the pictures, it needs torn down, but are the abutters aware of the town's intent with the property?
I don't know if, I know they know that we're gonna dispose of it, and a home's gonna be built. I don't know if they know it's Habitat for Humanity or not.
Any other questions? All right. Mike, has the select board voted on these articles? Now that we're voting on them, I said that.
Yes, they have. I'm sorry, I should have told you that.
That's okay.
They did not vote on the prior year bills and separation expense yet, but they have recommended the Habitat. I don't know if they've actually voted on it yet, but they did indicate their support.
Okay. All right. Any
Madam
additional
Chair?
questions on Article 8? Oh, go ahead, Bill.
Well, I think Jeff brought up a good point that, you know, is this something that the abutters should be apprised of?
I'm not, I know that's a hard thing to say. Do you want to single out? It's like if you build a 40B development, say that's single family homes, you have to build them all so they look alike so people don't know which one is an affordable home because you don't want to single someone out in the new neighborhood. So, you know, I don't know if it's something that really is something that needs to be publicized to single out these people.
I understand that, but as an abutter, I don't know exactly how I feel about not being apprised of it. I mean, it's a very slippery slope, and I'm not suggesting we single out somebody, but I'm also not suggesting that we kind of, you know, put it under the rug and kind of look the other way. It's I don't know. It's a very tough topic. I'm really not sure which way I'd vote on this.
Well, I would say that by having this conversation we're having right now in a public meeting, we're not putting it under the rug. But I know that there are really specific requirements for like purchasing 40B housing that include like income restrictions and all kinds of different things. So I can see what Mike's saying about not necessarily wanting to like take out a billboard on East Main Street announcing it.
Right, but there's that other side of being the neighbor and not knowing that a 40B was going next to you.
Well, we'll let them know that it's coming up at town meeting. I would bet that the building commissioner, when he was out there talking with the neighbor that wants the home torn down, explained to him that we were working with Habitat. So they more than likely know, but you know, we'll let them know when town meeting's coming up and that it will be on the agenda.
Any
Thank
other questions? Concerns?
Madam Chair, I have a quick question for
Go ahead,
Mike.
Paula.
Mike, the language of the article doesn't have to specify that we're selling the property for $1 to Habitat for Humanity. It can be kept general like this.
Yes. Yep. Town council wrote this.
Other questions? All right, hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 8 as written in the special town meeting warrant.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie.
I move that we recommend Article 8 of the special town meeting as written in the warrant for 16 Ridge Road.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula.
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Elena.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
And I too am a yes, so that is unanimous.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to go into, on the special, while we're on the special, let's go back up. Article 4, water and sewer is not going to need to change their budget at all. So if you want to vote no action on that.
Sure. Does anyone have questions about no action on Article 4? All right. Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to recommend no action on Article 4 in the special.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie.
I move that we recommend no action on Article 4 of the special town meeting.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second for no action on Article 4. Any other questions? All right. Hearing none. Paula.
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Elena.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Zach.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I too am a yes, so we will take no action on Article 4.
I probably should have just had you do 4 and 5 at the same time. I probably could have saved you some time.
Look at this, Mike. You're making more work for us.
Article 5 is the same for the sewer enterprise.
All right. Any questions on the sewer enterprise budget taking no action? All right. Hearing none. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend no action or to take no action on Article 5.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie.
I move that we recommend no action on Article 5 as printed in the special town meeting warrant.
Right.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Seeing that there are no questions, we will go directly to the vote. Paula.
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Elena.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
And I too am a yes, so that is also unanimous.
Okay. And if you want to take the next two together, Article 6. Article 6 is for appropriating funds for into the capital budget. And Article 7 is to amend the capital budget. And right now we don't need either of those. So if you want to move no action on Article 6 and 7.
All right. Does anyone have questions about the capital budget? Hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion of no action on Articles 6 and 7 in the special town meeting warrant.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend no action on Articles 6 and 7 in the special town meeting warrant. Capital plan amendments and appropriation.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Are there any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes. That is unanimous.
I just wanted to see, do you want to vote some of these smaller budgets?
I know last week we had wanted to see where things ended up overall before we voted these. Do people still feel the same? Do people want to wait to talk to Dr. Baeta? I don't know. That was kind of the general consensus last week. I don't know if people have changed their minds.
And I
At
met
some
with
point, we have to start voting budgets.
I will say I met with the superintendent today, and he's still working on the budget cuts. So yes, he'll bring those to the school committee this week.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Bonnie.
is Dr. Baeta scheduled to come to a specific meeting, or we're not sure when?
Next week.
Thanks, Mike.
So what's the general feeling? We want to vote some of these smaller budgets? Or wait?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Joe.
Mike, when you're talking about voting, is it just what we're looking at on the screen, or are there others?
I'll just go through them if I can. These
Sure.
Budgets here, and these are the Finance Committee Reserve Fund, Legal Services, Tax Title Foreclosure, Elections, the Southeastern Regional Planning and Economic Development, and the Town Report. And the last one, these are postage, the sailor weights and measures, street lighting, sanitary, landfill, and then the fixed and shared. So all are some or none, whichever you feel comfortable.
Madam
Me
Chair.
personally, sorry, Bill, I'm comfortable voting on
go ahead.
this one on the screen, but the others have larger numbers which could be impacted by the school budget. I don't think $6,700 is going to make a huge change in the school budget. So I'd be comfortable on this one. The other one's not so much.
Bill, go ahead.
Thank you. Have a slightly different take, that we could probably hit the 4 pages in front of us, and we can then go back to reconsider should the information coming out of next week's presentation be such that it would warrant reconsideration. But if it doesn't, then it's out of the way.
Anyone else? Strong feelings either way?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Bonnie.
I feel similarly to what Joe suggested, but I will not be here next week, so I will defer to everyone who will need to sit through an extremely long meeting to discuss and vote on these budgets after Dr. Bayetta weighs in. And I'm not sure if that will happen in the same meeting, but just feeling as though I'm not going to be, I don't want to defer it without saying that. I feel like it would be.
That's fair. I won't be here either, so.
We're just a couple.
Me too. That's just great.
That wasn't the intent of my comment, but for the record.
Okay. For the record.
Madam Chair.
For the record, I hope we have a quorum next Monday night, Mike.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Paula.
I'll be here next Monday.
Oh, good.
I agree with Bill. I think that knowing that we can reconsider, it'd be nice to try to get some of the voting of these accounts done today.
All right, let's get a few of these done. Let's see what we can get through this evening.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Go ahead, Bill.
one little sidetrack again. Mike, again, I'll be the broken record, have been for years. I said it last week, I'll say it again this week. It's to me somewhat insanity to look at 1 year at a time when the issues are bigger than that and the impact is greater than just 1 year. And I know I asked for it when I was chair 4 years ago. The kind of a looking out, the 3-year projection or whatever. When are we going to see that updated?
We will update it before the end of the fiscal year. The last projection was through FY24. And the projection for FY23 was a deficit of $2,852,904.
Right. And again, we're looking at it year by year, but the decision you make this year impacts next year, impacts the year after. And, again, I'll say I may have a different decision if I'm taking a longer view. And this is something that my peers who work in larger finance committees say that they get is a long-term projection during this process. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. I definitely agree that it seems like we need something. All right. That said, Mike, what's the best way to do this? One department at a time?
Yes.
Right. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 131, the Finance Committee.
Mike, do we need to have the entire number or can we just say 131?
131's fine.
Okay. Madam Chair.
Bonnie.
I move that we recommend Department 131 Finance Committee in the amount of $2,415.
$2,015.
Oh, that's the okay.
Got it. That makes sense. $2,015. I stand corrected.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other questions or conversation on the budget for the Finance Committee? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes.
And just for the record, that goes towards for our new members, that goes towards our scribe, I believe. Nothing to
Yeah.
do with,
For minutes. Person who types our minutes. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 177, the Zoning Board of Appeals, in the amount of a whopping $300.
Madam Chair.
Oh, wait, no. It's
Yes.
zeroed out. Mike, are we even giving them money this year?
No, it's 300.
Yes.
Town manager recommendation, 300, yes.
So confused. Sorry, 300. Got it.
Madam Chair.
Money.
I move that we recommend Department 177, Zoning Board of Appeals, in the amount of $300.
Second.
All right, there is a motion and a second. Any additional questions? Hearing none, we will vote. And I would just like to go on the record and say that I miss being able to say, all those in favor, and we all say, hi, and we're done. All right, Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes, so that is unanimous. All right, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 294, the tree warden, in the amount of $2,000.
Madam Chair.
Hi, Bonnie.
I move that we recommend Department 294, the tree warden, in the amount of $2,000.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Hearing none, we will go to the vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes, so that is unanimous. All right. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 692, Memorial and Veterans Day.
Madam Chair.
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 692, Memorial Day and Veterans Day, in the amount of $2,000.
Second.
right, there is a motion and a second. Any other questions? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes. All right, Mike, what's next?
On this page, it's the Finance Committee Reserve Fund, 150,000. Legal services, 70,000. Tax title foreclosure, 30,000. Elections, $56,685. Southeastern Region Planning and Economic Development Agency, $3,874. And town reports, $2,400.
All right. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 132, the reserve fund, in the amount of $150,000.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 132, the reserve fund, in the amount of $150,000.
Second.
all right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions on this budget? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes, so that is unanimous. All right, next up, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 151 legal services in the amount of $70,000.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 151 legal services in the amount of $70,000.
Second.
all right, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Zach.
Mike, can you refresh my memory? We may have discussed it. I may have just forgotten why it was such a drastic increase from 65,000 to 112,000 from FY20 to FY21.
There were a lot of legal cases that were being handled at that time.
Have they all been resolved at this point?
All but one.
So on the $80,000, saying budget is tight.
Yeah.
What would happen if we recommended 40,000 now and 40,000 in the fall if we have it? I mean, do we have to expedite? Do we have to allocate all this money at this juncture?
We could add in the fall.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Joe.
So sort of a follow-up on that, Mike, is the thinking that because we have so little ongoing litigation, you were comfortable dropping it from the 80 to the 70, or was it really just looking at everything else and picking this category that kind of dropped down?
It's a combination, Joe, I would say. Looking at, what we had available for revenue, and then now trying to control the use of legal counsel next fiscal year would be the other aspect of that.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Zach.
I'm not sure how I would do this, but could I make a motion to fund this at $40,000 and relook at it at the fall?
Yeah, we can. I think we have to vote the motion that's on the floor right now. But if it were to fail, you could propose a new motion. Everyone understands what I'm saying?
Is there a motion on the floor? You did make a motion?
Didn't you make a motion
Oh, for legal. Yes, I did.
for legal
Okay.
services? So if the motion and the second are already there, we have
Well,
I-
to vote
could
them?
amend it, couldn't we?
Can I rescind it? Withdraw it?
You,
I don't
you,
know.
you can withdraw it, or Zach could make an amendment to the motion for an amount, and then you'd have to vote on the amendment, and if you accept the amendment, then you vote on the floor. Why don't you just withdraw your motion? That
Sounds
would be
easier.
Yeah.
I will withdraw my motion.
Okay. Motion to recommend the budget for Department 151 has been withdrawn. So would
Madam
someone
Chair.
else like to make a new motion or ask a
Madam
question of
Chair.
Bill? Oh, let's let Bill go, then we'll get back
I
to
just-
Zach.
I just have more of a question comment that if we're going to start slicing and dicing, then I'd rather table everything.
Okay. My question was going to be, how are we going to make sure we remember to put the money back in September or October? Because if we get to like next March and we're out of money, that's going to be a problem. All right, so what would people like to do? Would we like to put a pin in this at this juncture and wait until next week to vote on the rest of these larger numbers? Do we want to skip some of these bigger ones like legal services and vote on like the elections budget and SERPED and the town report?
Madam Chair,
I'm open to whatever people are feeling. Go ahead, Joe.
this is not an answer to your question. It's more of a request to Mike. Especially if there's going to be discussion on legal services, would it be possible to get a couple of additional years back so that we have numbers to compare to?
Sure. Yeah. We can get you 2 more years.
That way, it's more of a, we can average it out better. Seeing the numbers, the minimum number we have here is 65, 70 seems reasonable, but to Zach's point, if before that it was $20,000, then that's something we can build something on. Given the numbers that we have here, I'm not sure I would be comfortable with a $40,000 number right now. To answer your question, Madam Chair, I agree with Bill. If we're going to slice and dice, I'd rather have the bigger picture.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Paula.
my question for the legal services, it'd be good to know, what our expenses are just for kind of the bare minimum, like, what it would be just for her hourly charges for, drafting, articles on the warrant. Yeah.
And joining us for the inevitable questions nobody knows what to do with at town meeting.
Right. There's going to be that kind of base that we know we have to spend.
Okay. Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Zach.
not to cause too much confusion, if you guys want to just continue and vote these down, vote them as is, and we can reconsider them later if we need to, that's I'm okay with that as well. I'm just saying, if trying to protect cash flow for as long as possible, seeing I think it's going to be tight.
I think I agree with your philosophy on that. My biggest concern is that it's really easy to remember that we need to make like overtime for police and fire whole in the fall. It's not necessarily easy to remember we have to put $30,000 back into the legal services budget. So I am a little bit hesitant to start moving money around, only because if we do not remember everything we did and we do not put it all back where it came from at the fall town meeting, then there will be a department that could be coming to us for a reserve fund transfer very early in the year. So that is my biggest hesitation, because when we start moving different small dollar amounts around, then we might run into trouble. So I would say we either should vote these pages as they're written, or we should hold off and vote next week after we talk to Dr. Bayetta.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah. Again, I would recommend these 4 pages we do as written. Even after Dr. Bayetta's presentation and absorbing what potentially could be some really tough information, I'm not sure we're going to be in the frame of mind to do the math that quick. So we might actually need another another time to kind of put it all together.
Right.
So that'd be my 2 cents.
Well, why don't we move through these today, knowing that if we need to reconsider any of them, we can do that either next week or the week after. And then we will be in a position to at least have this piece done, unless we need something to move. All right. So with that said, we will return to Bonnie to recommend the budget for Department 151 Legal Services. All right.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie.
I move that we recommend Department 151 Legal Services in the amount of $70,000.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Kevin.
planning on voting yes, but just further to Zach's point, I think when we think about like variable costs like this, like the psychology of the expense in that particular account changes when it's 70 versus 40. So like, I know we're splitting hairs a little bit and we're talking about moving money around, but the mindset of how we spend those dollars will change based on the amount in the budget as to what's necessary and what's not. So I don't think it's like a foregone conclusion that we're going to have to spend 70, but I'm just throw it out there.
Right. I understand the concept of the psychology of the budget completely. But I would also say that, as we can see with the fiscal year 2020, like, we're not spending money if we don't need to. So they spent $66,000 that year. I don't know what their actual budget was, but because we don't have that number here in front of us, but it was probably either 70 or 80,000. And then in 2021, I'd be willing to bet that the budget was probably 70 or 80,000 also, and they had to do a reserve fund transfer for that extra money. So,
Madam Chair,
go ahead, Bonnie.
I would say in a case like this with this department in particular, it's not terribly predictable, other than to know that there is only one current court case. So based on what we know currently, we can be, if it was known back when the FY21 budget was being planned that there were currently 4 court cases, they may have thought, or we may have thought to increase it. But what we currently know, like those fixed expenses, like someone asked for, of just having her attend town meeting, or just general questions we need to ask on a, routine basis, it's one thing. But knowing there's only one court case, there could be 5 more in a week. We just have no way of predicting that.
Right.
Nor do we have control over who engages with the town in this way.
Like family, you can't pick your family.
Maybe a little bit different than
saying.
that, but yeah.
All right. So with all of that said, any other questions on the legal services budget? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Steph.
Yes.
I too am a yes. That is unanimous. Right. Moving on, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 158 tax title foreclosure in the amount of $30,000.
Madam Chair,
Money.
I move that we recommend Department 158 tax title foreclosure in the amount of $30,000.
Any questions
Second.
or comments? Oh, thanks, Bill. Any questions or comments on this before we vote? All right, hearing none. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Steph.
Yes.
I too am a yes. All right, next budget is Department 162 elections, the amount of $35,460.
No, it's
You have to read them through line
the
7.
one before that. It's personnel
Oh,
services.
56,685.
Yeah. Yes. You have to read
And
each.
each
line.
one, each line.
Right. So we're ready for a motion?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Madam Chair, that's right.
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 162 elections for personnel services 510 in the amount of $685. I do love the additional $15. And for charges,
Minimum wage.
I'd love to hear the explanation too. The charges and expenditures 570 in the amount of $56,000 for a total of $56,685,000.
Second.
all right, there is a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes, but I demand to know what that $15 is for.
all right, we'll ask Mike as soon as we're done with the voting. Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Steph,
Yes.
and I am a yes, so that is unanimous. All right, next, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for the Southeast Regional Planning and Economic Development District, Department 176, in the amount of $3,874.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 176, the Southeast Regional Plan and Economic Development District, in the amount of $3,874.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on this department? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Steve, Steve's not here, never mind. Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Steph,
Yes.
and I too am a yes, so that is also unanimous. All right, let's keep cruising along here. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 195, the town report, in the amount of $2,400.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 195 Town Report in the amount of $2,400.
Second.
all right, there's a motion and a second. Any questions?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Zach.
why? I guess is the question.
I feel your pain. It burns me that we have to do this, but it's a state law that we have to print the annual report. And so this is for the books that we've cut it back over the years, but you get to a point where it's going to cost you the same, if you do the minimum number of books that we do now, as opposed to trying to cut it down even more. But it's a state law, and it's ridiculous. I agree.
And you can't just put it on your website.
No. It's like they still make us advertise in the Sun Chronicle, just saying. How many people get the Sun Chronicle now?
People do read that online, ironically.
Yeah.
How many do we have to print legally to meet minimum requirement?
I don't know what the minimum requirement is for printing, but they're going to charge us $2,400 for the number of books because there's a set. They've got to set everything up, and so we're just getting as few books as we can for what we're paying.
Other questions on the town report? All right. I will confess that it has been a very long day and I have lost the thread of where we were. Did we have a motion and we were then talking about questions?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we just have to vote. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Steph,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. And Mike, before we go to the next page, what is that $15 on the elections budget?
Must be an extra hour.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, Lucia must have anticipated an extra hour of service or something.
All
Do we
right.
really need that though? I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
All right, we can move to the next page.
This seems like a good time to mention that it's halftime. The Celtics are down by 1.
Ugh.
.47, the Celtics trail by 1 at halftime.
Is Mike frozen?
It looks like it.
I
I just
can't
mapped that.
Hell, it looks like
Oh,
he is.
He hasn't moved in a while.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him to I was gonna ask him to scroll down, but then I realized he wasn't moving, so he was probably frozen.
Yeah, now he's gone. All right, let me see if I can bring up the, I don't know if I even have a document he was looking at. Hold on. We're
Probably coming up, but
technical difficulties. Oh, maybe. Yes. I have it. Okay, hold on.
looks like we did outscore them in the second quarter, though, everybody. So that's good news.
All right, let me see if I can share my screen and we can keep going. Can you see my screen?
Can you make it a little bit bigger?
Don't know, but I can try. Oh, look at that, I can. I don't do these important things in Zoom very often. All right, so we just finished this page. We're on to page 3. So the chair would entertain a motion to recommend or approve the budget for Department 199 postage, all departments, in the amount of $42,600.
Hopefully we don't screw this up because Mike's not here to tell us. Madam Chair,
Money.
I move that we recommend Department 199 postage for all departments in the amount of $42,600.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions on this budget?
Not that I would
All
disagree.
right. Hearing none, seems relatively self-explanatory. We will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I too am a yes. All right, let us move on to the next department, the all-important sealer of weights. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 244, sealer of weights, in the amount of $2,500.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 244 sealer weights in the amount of $2,500.
Second?
all right, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. All right. Moving on to the next one, Department 425, street lighting. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend this budget in the amount of $40,000.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 425 street lighting in the amount of $40,000.
Second?
all right. There's a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, we will go to the vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I am a yes, so that is unanimous. All right, next up, Department 438. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 438, Sanitary Landfill, in the amount of $8,000.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 438 Sanitary Landfill in the amount of $8,000.
Second.
all right, there's a motion and a second. Any questions? All right, hearing none, we can vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Yelena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes. Mike, are you back with us?
I am back on my phone.
Oh, good. Hey, you missed it. We just voted for a whole page of departments.
Way to go.
All right, let's keep cruising through. This is the end of it for tonight. These are our fixed and shared expenses. So we're going to have to vote each. Well, Bonnie, you're going to have to read each department line item here and their
No
totals.
problem.
All right, to keep this train rolling along, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 711, maturing debt. And I'll just let you read the numbers because there's no point in both of us having to say them.
Thanks. Madam Chair,
Yes, Bonnie.
I move that we recommend Department 711 maturing debt for line 590, maturing principal on long-term debt, I assume LT, in the amount of $1,951,299, and line 594, repayment of temporary loan in the amount of $129,182. Sorry about that. For a total of $2,080,481.
Second.
Right, there's a motion and a second. Any questions on Department 711's budget?
Madam Chair.
Zach.
Mike, if you can hear me, we went from $1.5 million to $1.9 million and some change. What is entailed in that? Is that rising interest rates? Is that additional debt? And is anything covered by a debt exclusion in those numbers?
So it's additional debt. We have the $12 million train project. And there is the debt exclusion would be in there too. So
that's everything. That's total town debt.
Yep.
The high school that's covered under a debt exclusion, whatever money you've borrowed for these 3 projects that are coming up. That's
we haven't borrowed all that yet.
I thought you said it was about $4 million. That's all.
Yeah.
That's total debt is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So, some covered by debt exclusion and some not. Mixed.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, let us vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. All right. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 750 interest.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 750 interest for line 590, interest on long-term debt in the amount of $598,484, and for line 594, interest on notes, $220,863 for a total of $819,347.
Second.
all right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions on Department 750 interest? Hearing none, we will vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I am also a yes, so that is also unanimous. All right. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 910 employee benefits.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 910 employee benefits, the line 510 personal service in the amount of $3,571,602. Thank you for the little arrow. In line 511, other personnel services in the amount of $8,306,838, and 570 charges and expenditures in the amount of $583,000 for a grand total of $12,461,440.
Second.
all right, there's a motion and a second for the employee benefits, Department 910. Any further questions or conversation? Hearing none, we will vote.
Can I
Paula,
just ask your dumb question?
sure, dumb questions are still questions.
Mike, is it a typo that it says personal service, or is that actually a differentiation from personal and personnel?
That is a good question. It should say personnel services, I believe.
Just want to make sure. I thought
Yep.
that's what it meant, but I just want
Yep. Yep.
to. Okay, thank you.
All right, let's vote because we can always fix what it says. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I am a yes, so that is unanimous. All right, the chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 911 unemployment compensation.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 911 unemployment compensation in the amount of $75,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any additional questions about Department 911?
Madam Chair.
Bill?
Mike, if we've only spent less than 8,000 through 12/31, is, and maybe we're putting the cart before the horse, is this a realistic number, or is there some fluff in here?
I think the discussion here is the same as the legal we had earlier. You never know. Because if you look, like in FY20, we spent $19,566.47, but the next year we spent $75,026.25. And I know, I don't think there's fluff in here with the situation with the budget, and talking with the superintendent today and possible layoffs. You know, he was concerned that we may even have to add some in the fall, but we just don't know. You know, someone could get laid off and get a job right away somewhere else, some they may not. So we really don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions on employment compensation? Unemployment compensation. All right, hearing none, thus vote. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes, so that is unanimous. All right, last one, guys. We did it. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend the budget for Department 940 Miscellaneous.
Madam Chair,
Bonnie,
I move that we recommend Department 940, line 540 for fuel expenses in the amount of $130,000, and for line 570, move the arrow, charges and expenditures in the amount of $800,789 for a grand total of $930,789.
Second.
right, there is a motion and a second on Department 940 Miscellaneous. Are there any other questions?
Madam Chair, just a comment. I just
Certainly,
think
Zach.
130,000 is way off base. I mean, diesel is over $6 a gallon at the moment, and that's every truck in the highway department, every fire truck.
Sure, but
Gas
the
is,
departments have their own allocations for fuel, like we just saw with water sewer. This isn't everyone's budget for fuel, right, Mike?
No, this is everyone's. Water and sewer has their own budget, but everyone else is up there.
Okay.
but I'm just saying that I'll vote for it, but I just think they'll be coming back in the fall or you know, for emergency reserve, just because the out of control prices that we're seeing right now.
I mean, Zach, we could double this number and the price of gas could drop by $1 a gallon tomorrow. I don't know what to do with it, really.
Mm-hmm. True.
I think we move forward with what we have here, and if we do need to tap into the reserve fund or even worse, the stabilization fund because of it, then we address it when it happens.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Joe.
I guess my thing would be, yes, they probably will be coming back in the fall for more, but it looks like this is the number that the department's asked for. I think it would be unusual for us to just grant them more than they asked for, so I'm comfortable voting on that number, even though we will probably expect them to come back in the fall.
right. So knowing that this number may have to be augmented in the fall, let us move forward with voting on the budget as it's written at the moment. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I too am a yes. So that is unanimous. And we made it through 4 pages of budgets.
Good job. And you owe Bonnie a dinner or something.
Sounds delightful.
All right. I'll hit
And-
Bonnie up with a something.
Talking about the cost of fuel, I was shocked the other day when I was looking at the price of home heating oil right now. So for 150 gallons right now, it's $922. So unless something gets straightened out before the winter, people aren't going to be able to heat their houses. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy out there right now with the price of things.
I was at Cumbies, going by Cumbies this morning in Norton, $4.41, and people are blaming Biden for the rising gas, but it's not Biden's fault. He's doing the best he can.
Thanks, Peter. All right, Mike, you got anything else for us tonight?
No, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. We look forward to reconvening next Monday, same bat time. I think
All right.
different bat station though. I think, are we back to our regular Zoom number next
Yes.
week, Mike?
Yes, you
Okay.
will be.
Madam
All right.
Chair.
Move their meetings for
Kevin?
Monday night.
Oh,
Madam Chair.
go ahead, Kevin.
Mike, just a comment. I don't know if we've already acted on it, but talking to a friend of mine that works for the state, apparently FEMA just opened up disaster relief funds for Bristol County for that storm we had in January. I was just curious if we have anything that we could potentially get back from FEMA for that storm, or if we just got to run the numbers, or if we've even heard about it. I think it just came out maybe a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I know the emergency management did hear about it, and highway and fire were looking to see if they had any expenses. We didn't actually have a lot of expenses during that storm, but they're looking at it to get it into the county just in case.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Oh. All right. Well, seeing the lateness of the hour, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Waiting for
We have a
Bill.
motion and a second to adjourn. Let's vote unless someone wants to talk about why we need to not adjourn. Hearing no one. Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Elena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I too am a yes. And I'd like to thank you all for your time tonight. And I would especially like to thank our newest member, Jeff, who just had to vote on a whole bunch of stuff. He probably had no idea what he was talking about. But you'll get there. We promise that we will help you.
Thank you.
No problem. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right,
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Good night.